You're welcome aboard to this live stream, guys. My name is Francis, and once again, we are here at Francis Page Media to sort of catch up with what has been going on in the world of our British royals. I hope you guys have had such an awesome week so far. It's been really, really rough weather-wise here in the UK. We had that heat wave which has left many people homeless, and of course some areas here in London were ablaze. Okay, so we had the busiest season for the fire services and ambulance for the last 2 days. So it's great that we are still here, we are still breathing, but it was really, really terrible recently with that heat wave. So, guys, welcome aboard this live stream. I'm your host here, Francis Page, and we always come here to catch up with what is going on in the world of our British royals. Guys, if you're just joining us today, please leave your name in the comments box and tell us where you're from. And of course, you're welcome to this community of loving, caring, and kind individuals who are just really here to share wisdom, to share knowledge, but also to have a discussion going on. A discussion about these stories that are very much going on in the world of our royals. And as we do share these messages, we always try to make sense of why the things are happening that we are seeing going around in the world of our royals. So you're welcome aboard. Um, Before I go forward, guys, I would like to say that these thoughts are my own voice, my own thoughts, but you are also supposed to do your own research on your ends to make sure that whatever you're taking in is something that is honest, is real, is true. And as well as that, you help us to sort of put things right in those discussions if we get things wrong. Uh, Hi, Bonnie. Good to see you. And yes, it's been great to have such a great turn up for this edition of another live stream. We had quite a quiet one last time, didn't we, Bonnie? Because people are watching Love Island. So I hope today I haven't crashed with Love Island. So fingers crossed. Hi, Tam from Los Angeles. Oh, greetings to everyone in USA. I hope the weather is brilliant there. Bonnie will tell you that it's been really, really harsh recently here in the UK with that heat wave going up to around 40 degrees. It was, yes. So I'm having my bottle of water here ready to go. And of course, we know we are supposed to stay hydrated as much as we can. Otherwise, this heat has been terrible recently. So anyway, we are here again to sort of round up with what has been going on in the world of our royals. It doesn't seem much that has happened recently, but the stories that have come up have been very, very interesting. And I would just like to jump into it straight away without wasting any time. Um, I hope my battery is is going to be enough for tonight, but I think we are good. We are still okay to go. Yeah, so we kick off with that story of Prince Harry. Okay, Prince Harry addressing the United Nations. Of course, the day that he was addressing the UN was Nelson Mandela International Day. Apparently now that day was set up by United Nations in 2009 to sort of remember the work that that Nelson Mandela has done, his contribution and his role in inspiring world leaders. So we know Nelson Mandela was such a South African hero who spearheaded South Africa into independence. He went on to be imprisoned for 24 years. He came out. he became a president, and since then he was moving everywhere, visiting heads of states around the world. And it so happens that Nelson Mandela was actually Queen Elizabeth's best friend. So yesterday, no, the other day, they were celebrating Nelson Mandela International Day, and this day was celebrated at the UN headquarters in New York. And guess who seized that opportunity to address the United Nations? Harry, Prince Harry of all people. So Prince Harry turned up, of course, and with wife Meghan to deliver that speech. Now, that speech has been marred with a lot of controversy. And guys, you can agree with me here that people were not impressed with that speech, right from the UN officials themselves to listeners who latched in to hear what Prince Harry was saying. Hi, Ashan. Thank you for coming in. Hope it's been a great day for you. 40 degrees indoors. Yes, yesterday, Bonnie, it was. And I think today is still a little bit uh, warm inside the house, though not outside. It's surprising outside is now cooler than inside. So it seems all the heat we took on yesterday concentrated inside our houses. And so it's in here very warm, outside very cool. But again, we can't complain because there are places that are really, really getting this sort of weather on a daily basis. So we should be lucky, okay, to just be getting just the 2 days of this heat wave. And then we are supposed to have a storm tomorrow. UK has got the best weather in the world. But anyway, guys, back to Prince Harry, and he addresses UN. And what does he do? He bashes United Nations, okay? He talks about the environment and how UN has failed to put in place policies that are going to control these ridiculous environmental changes, forgetting that he is one of the culprits flying in those private jets with wife Meghan all over the world, okay? Very, very expensive, and when they could actually use, public means like in commercial flights together with other passengers, but they choose always to travel in their private jets. And there he was, Prince Harry, addressing United Nations, talking about how United Nations has failed in its environmental change policies. That was very interesting because the moment he said that, the UN Security Council were looking at him like, wow, did you just say that? And he went ahead in his speech. I'm talking about Prince Harry, if you've just joined us, and we are looking at his speech at the United Nations recently, when UN was marking Nelson Mandela International Day. So point number 2 he touched was, yes, it's, I mean, UK had never seen anything like this before come. I think the highest we've ever had here was 38 degrees, 38.5 degrees, and in some areas maybe 39, some areas of the country. But what we witnessed recently was never seen here in the UK before. So our emergency services were at their busiest over the last 48 hours. But thankfully we made it through the heat wave, and here we are again, just about to get another big storm of rain tomorrow apparently. Yes, so Prince Harry addresses the UN Security Council, and on the day they were supposed to mark Nelson Mandela International Day, Prince Harry decides to make a speech criticizing United Nations on a host of issues. Okay, he talked about democracy failing. Of course, when we talk about democracy, the big states, the superpowers, or you call them the top 5 UN security members, like US, France, Britain, and those countries, Germany, and he was criticizing them of failing in their democratic principles, okay, and how their policies have actually oppressed people, especially the very poor people. Now, many were thinking he was referencing the recent gun laws in United States and of course the recent abortion laws that were passed by the US Senate. Because of course Prince Harry, seeing himself as American these days, has the guts now to criticize United Nations and criticize US, mostly because US is seen as the leader in enforcing some of these democratic policies. So Prince Harry criticized them yesterday, and that did not go well with UN. And I know so many of them were actually regretting why they handed over that mic to Prince Harry. Okay, but for us royalists, that wouldn't bother us a lot, as we know, because who doesn't know that democracy is, failing in certain aspects? Okay, who doesn't know that the environmental policies are slow at achieving what they set out to achieve in terms of, these environmental changes? We know all that, okay? But to speak in a capacity he spoke yesterday, okay, on a day of Nelson Mandela, who was a great friend of Queen Elizabeth, and again saying whatever he said was not respectful of the royals, because we know very much that members of the royal family are not in any way supposed to express such political views openly in a way like he did. We know that Prince Harry, although he's not a serving member of the British royal family, okay, he is still a royal. Okay, let's see what Bonnie has written. He's putting his bare hands in a hornet's by trying to double other countries' political issues. Absolutely. Okay. Oh, sorry. Do I need to increase the volume for this, guys? 1 minute. Okay, is that okay now? Happy days. Happy days. Okay, so is that okay? Can you hear me now? Okay, yes. Guys, if my sound is down, please let me know so I can make all the fine adjustments that I can. Yes, so we know that Prince Harry spoke in a capacity he did. I don't know what capacity it was, and I don't know how he actually got invited to speak, okay? But hi Yvonne, great to see you. Thank you so much for logging in. Yes, so we've got the A team on this live stream tonight, which is very great to see. I really, really enjoy seeing these faces show up on these lives. So thank you so much, guys. The 24 of you who are on this live, I'm really, really honored that you have stopped over so that we can sort of catch a glimpse of what has been going on, okay? So, so that speech there, of course, we know that Prince Harry, although is not a working royal member of the royal family, he is still a royal by virtue of birth, by being born in the royal family. He is the brother to somebody who is going to be the future king, okay? He is the son of the next in line to become king. So he is very much a royal himself, Prince Harry. But to stand on that platform and start talking about politics openly in the way he was doing, of course, was seen as a disgrace to the royal family, which is supposed to be taking a back seat when it comes to voicing out some of those issues. Because mixed politics with royalty, there is always going to be a big problem. And with how the royal family operates is that such issues are left to politicians to discuss. Okay, if there is a matter of concern that the royal family wants to pass on, okay, again, they do it in a way that is not going to come across as too political. Like we see quite often Prince William talking about some of these things, okay? But he is talking in terms of, as a royal family, this is what we are trying to do to stop this. As a royal family, this is how we are trying to support local communities to overcome these problems. As opposed to how Prince Harry was speaking. Well, the world has failed to do this. UN has failed to do this when people are dying. People are suffering in poverty because your policies are not working. So whatever Prince Harry said was not allowed by the royal family. These are values that were sort of undermined. Okay, he undermined the values that the royal family operates on day in, day out. Okay, and we know that we know that Queen Elizabeth was a very good friend to Nelson Mandela. Then it would have been more ideal if maybe there was somebody from the royal family, serving member of the royal family, using that podium to say things that are going to be reminding us of Nelson Mandela. Things like he did a lot of great work to help South Africans to achieve their sovereignty. He was a uniting man who helped unite the Commonwealth together, because we know South Africa is very much part of the Commonwealth, okay? But we did not hear anything of a sort come out of Harry's mouth. And I think, as somebody has said here, I think, is it you, Bonnie, or Tam? Okay. Yeah, absolutely, Tam. Yeah, you're very right. Very, very right. And Bonnie, you said here that Meghan, those were Meghan's words, and that was how the whole world looked at Prince Harry's speech, okay, recently. Okay, so many people actually said that was Meghan's words in Prince Harry's voice, and we all know very much how Prince Harry is not capable of even coming up with with a speech like that on his own, unless there is somebody who was pumping him up, somebody who was using those words, who wrote those words down. It must have been a huge rehearsal behind the scenes prior to that speech that Harry did. Okay, and clearly everybody would see that those words belonged to someone we all know. Because when he started talking about his mother and Africa, and how he met his wife, and how Africa has brought him a wife in Meghan who is inspiring him, we knew this is it. At that point, everybody knew that was it. That is what they were waiting. He was just preparing that ground to introduce his wife, Meghan, and show the whole world how Meghan has inspired him, how he met Meghan through projects in Africa. Now, Meghan has never been in Africa with Prince Harry, okay? And what we know as well is that Meghan, although she comes across now as wanting to use the African card, okay, as her identity these days, we know very much prior to these speeches how Meghan would not profile herself as coming from Africa. We know that for sure, okay? So at this very moment, for them to come around, and for Harry to come around and tell the world that my wife is from Africa, and Africa inspires me a lot through my wife, we are wondering how many projects has Meghan done in Africa. Okay, we know that he visited Africa some time back to do some voluntary work through an organization in Africa, but that was it. And many think she was doing that because, again, she was looking for a way to get through that, to get into that philanthropic work, to get to where she got during those days. wanting to use people's emotions to climb up the ladder. And this is exactly what we saw here with Prince Harry. Okay, appearing very emotional in front of camera and talking about his wife as somebody who has elevated him. And now, if we ask ourselves this question, how long has Harry been with Meghan? Okay, 2 years. Okay, maybe 2 years plus. But for him to say, Harry, Meghan has helped me a lot through my life, is a big lie, because Meghan found Harry a very happy man. Okay, Harry had traveled to Africa even without Meghan. Okay, he went to South Africa a few years back. I think that's when he used to date his South African ex. What's her name? Anybody remembers Harry's former girlfriend? Is it called Charlie Davy? Oh, there's that South African girl, and I think she sort of introduced Harry to some of this South African food and sentiments and all that stuff, okay? But then he meets someone 2 years ago, okay, and they have barely settled in, and then he comes and tells us, this is my wife who has elevated me through thick and thin, okay? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Everything in that speech was copycat, we thought. But as well as that, we wouldn't mind, okay, talking about, for example, okay, my wife, okay, because by virtue, Meghan is his wife, okay, whatever she has done for him, okay, we appreciate that. And it's in the relationship they are in right now. So he is very, very right to speak along the lines of, my wife has done this for me, okay? But to use that platform to criticize United States, to criticize UN, great allies of the United Kingdom here, but also politicians who very much work very closely with Her Majesty the Queen and all that stuff. Okay, and here is Harry criticizing them. In what capacity? So that, of course, did not shed a good image of the royal family. And I'm quite sure members within the royal family are not happy with that. Yeah, Charlie Davy, Chelsea Davy, yes, absolutely. That's the one. Guys, are you hearing me? Because somebody said my voice was a bit down. Tell me, guys, if I need to sort of up this voice or we are good to go. If you give me a thumbs up in the comment section below there. Okay, so that speech was not a happy place for people, and it was highly criticized. Here in the UK, 9 out of 10 news agencies and channels have criticized that speech from Prince Harry. Okay, thank you so much, Lorna. Thank you, Bonnie. Yes. Okay. All right. Yeah. Good morning, Catherine. Oh, good to see you. Okay. So, yeah, maybe 1 minute, guys. It's at its highest here. Maybe I just need to move this a little bit closer. Okay, okay, yeah, okay, thank you so much, guys. Yeah, so Prince Harry has gone from being Prince Harry that people knew about to being a prince that is totally falling out of touch with people. Okay, and it's very, very disappointing and very unfortunate, because Harry used to be one of the most liked royals. Okay, Prince Harry used to hold that mic and spread joy. Whenever he spoke, he used to spread happiness. He was beaming with laughter. He was funny. He was joking with people. Okay, but to see him go from the lovely, dudley Prince Harry he was to the sad Harry we are seeing right now is very, very worrying. Okay, I think that is the right word to use. Okay, And yes, absolutely, I would agree with you 100%, Bonnie. Okay. And of course, we know how much his wife is having such a negative influence on him. And we know how much his wife is using him to get to places. Okay. And very soon we are going to see a very isolated Harry. Okay. A very sad. And guess who will be picking up these pieces? The royal family will. Trust me on that, because I know that is what we are going to be saying. Okay. Because of course they can't let their very own um, get stressed on the streets in the United States. So everybody knows he's putting on this brave face, he's putting on a happy face. His wife cheering him along the sidelines, but he is not happy. And that speech said it all. Because when you want to tell somebody who is happy, you tell them by the sentiments they voice out. Okay? So on a day like Nelson Mandela International Day, a day which was meant to be celebrated with happiness and joy, someone comes up and starts talking about how poverty has killed people, how blah blah, and how the West is not doing anything, without the mention of how Nelson Mandela was a great leader and how he actually contributed such and such for the continent, and how the world wants to emulate some of those things, and how indeed the world, especially UN, because this was an occasion taking place at United Nations, so he should have said, it's really warm today. I don't know where these flies are coming from, guys. Okay. And so he should have come around and said something like, the world is so happy to celebrate this day, to remember Nelson Mandela, the good things he did. Okay, he made Africa what it is today, although there are still some problems in Africa, but we can tell that it was a journey, you know, that Nelson Mandela was on, such an incredible journey to make sure the place, Africa, is happy and all that. And we are very grateful for that. But look at that speech he said, totally negative. And when someone is negative, it tells a story behind, a big, big story. Okay? But also it could be that his wife is putting this, is saying these words through Harry to sort of tarnish Harry's image. It could be anything, because we know what his wife is capable of doing, especially as she wants to be seen as the good. She wants to be seen in the limelight. Okay? So what they would do in that case, what his wife would do, is write all these words for Meghan, present a speech, but then ask Harry to deliver that speech as Harry's speech, and the world looks at Harry as a lumpen while she's laughing behind the scenes. Okay? But also, because we very much know that she's going to stand for, you know, Democratic Party leadership in the upcoming US elections, and she thought maybe speaking about those issues at the UN platform would give Meghan an upper hand in trying to, you know, would see her as the leader who is going to come and enforce some of these good changes to start taking place. Okay. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Harry knows. You know, the Invictus Games, I mean, he did this way before he even met Meghan. And you could tell from that speech he delivered yesterday, you could tell that it was far different from the speeches he used to deliver in the past with the Invictus Games. Okay? Nelson Mandela was a very joyous man. Thank you, Phoebe, for highlighting that. Okay? And Lorna, I really appreciate you actually highlighting that Invictus Game project where Harry has spoken tons and tons of time, and we know his tone when he's talking. That was very different to the speech he delivered here. Okay, Phoebe, you know, I know you know Prince Harry because you've been following up on some of his activities, but You very much know how Nelson Mandela was as a human, as a political leader. Very happy, very joyful. You see, you used to see how happy he was with Queen Elizabeth, and that is what is really hurting us here. Okay. Nelson Mandela was close friends with Queen Elizabeth. Okay. So for Prince Harry to stand on that podium and voice out negativity on a day which was supposed to be celebrated was total shame. It was. Okay. And I'm quite sure the royal family is not happy with this. But again, they can't do anything about it because Prince Harry is across the Atlantic. He's over there. And when he's there, he's doing whatever he wants and is being fine-tuned. You know what they call fine-tuning. It's being fine-tuned by somebody there. His wife, who is controlling him, who is giving him all these, teaching him all these new ways that he's living. Okay. So it was such a very, very disappointing moment for that speech. And you could tell because even after giving that speech, as they walked away with wife Meghan, you could tell journalists were questioning, were asking him questions. Okay, Prince Harry, what is going on? Are you going to make up with your family? Okay, what is going on? And, you know, he was quiet. Of course, he knew that people had received a message that that wasn't the Prince Harry they knew about when he was here. But then a big question still begs, who gave him that platform to speak at the UN? We don't know whether the royal family was busy to send someone to go and speak on the day, on this day. We don't know whether Meghan and Harry requested to be given that platform to speak on the day. We actually don't know how Prince Harry ended up on that podium to speak. Because when he spoke in the capacity of a royal. So people could easily take his messages to be messages coming from the royal family here. Okay. And I think that is the reason why, okay, that is the reason why Prince William has issued a statement today to say that they are going to United States immediately after this speech was made to try and fuse things down a little bit. Okay. And Prince William comes in a more positive note to say that, hey guys, I'm coming to United States to bring this Earthshot project. And the Earthshot project, of course, for those of you dear subscribers who might not know about this project, it's a project that Prince William established to help control climate change, to help stop all these disastrous incidences that are happening as a result of these horrible climate changes. Okay, so he started his Earthshot project. He took it to India the other day, and now it is coming to United States. And he announced December, I think 22nd, he's in Boston, Massachusetts, to take the Earthshot projects there to try and see what they can do to encourage people to come up with all ways to contribute to these climate policies that are going to see us level up in terms of that good climate we also want. Okay, so now that is what a royal does. They talk in terms of, here is what we are presenting to help stop that, as opposed to the world has failed to do this. Politicians are in offices failing to do this. Okay, people are suffering here because this is not being done. Okay, we know people are suffering, but what have you done yourself? So the best thing to do is what Prince William has done by announcing that very big Earthshot project he's taking over to the US in December. Now, leaving Prince Harry's story on the side, we are seeing Prince William take his projects to United States together with his dear wife Catherine. Okay, but um, questions again are being raised. Are they going to meet the Harrys when they go to United States? Boston is a great city to visit. Lots of top universities there with great scientists. Of course, there's the Massachusetts School of Technology, I think, is one I know. They've got Harvard, isn't it? Harvard University there as well, Tam, haven't they? Okay, did I miss this one? Meghan is not liked either. Neither of them were around. Meghan, one celebrity and not actual work. Absolutely, without a doubt, without a single doubt. Okay, of course, we have seen how she is coercing politicians behind the door to try and get them to endorse her and all those things. Okay, so you could see that Meghan was thirsty for that limelight. And when she married into the royal family, she thought, right, this is it. Now I've got to use this to get to places. And now wherever she goes, of course, they look at her as the Duchess, okay? The Duchess of Sussex. She's using the title, okay? Even if she's not a serving member. And remember very much when she said they don't want to be known by their titles. But when they called them the Duke of Wessex, somebody introduced Prince Harry as the Duke of Wessex. That was interesting. And apparently Prince Harry wasn't happy. Good night, he did. And apparently Prince Harry, good night, you okay? Yeah. Apparently Prince Harry wasn't happy with that. Okay, Duke of Wessex. Somebody made those introductions yesterday before Prince Harry stood on that podium. Okay, but it could have been out of mockery. Probably they were mocking him, or because they know very much that he's not in great terms with his family here. But I think they gave him that opportunity as well to see how stupid he was, what he was going to say, and all those things. Because the media is not silly. They are watching him, they are looking for these stories. They are wanting to expose the man he has become of late. Okay? But anyway, after they referred to him as the Duke of Wessex, maybe they thought Edward was coming. Yeah, probably because Edward is the Earl of Wessex, isn't he? And the Countess of Wessex in Sophie, Edward's wife. But it could be that maybe they thought a different royal was coming to deliver a speech, and there Harry was. Okay, but we very much know why Harry stepped on that podium. First and foremost, we know that that speech was written by Meghan. And Meghan wanted to kind of sort of establish a political agenda. Because people know that when Harry speaks, Meghan has spoken. We know that. Okay, so secondly, Prince Harry wanted to stay relevant. That is out there in everybody's eyes to see. Okay. Yes, Sophie has been there twice. Yeah, absolutely. She was actually very recent. So she is very, very raw. Her image is still very raw in some of these people's minds. So that is really good of you to highlight that, Lorna. Okay, very, very great of you to highlight that. But Prince Harry also wants to stay relevant. Now, this is what you guys have to know. Whenever Prince William and Catherine carry out a project and it succeeds here, Meghan and Harry are thinking, wow, what are we going to do to overcome that? What are we going to do to overshadow that? When is our next moment? Which opportunity should we seize so that we do something that is going to be talked about more than they have done? And in so doing, they are rushing into things. They are making wrong decisions. They are not preparing enough to deliver. Okay, and they know that they have such a disorganized PR team. Their team isn't the best in organizing most of these events. They always seem unprepared, okay? And let's not forget, they are up against people who are very well organized. William, Catherine are working under the royal family. The royal family has got an established mechanism of delivery. All these messages that are being delivered by all the royals, as Prince William, the speeches Catherine gives, Prince Charles, okay, all these speeches that are delivered on these occasions are well looked through, well analyzed to make sure that whatever they are going to say is in no way going to contradict what the royal family does. Okay? Even when we saw Prince William delivering these speeches in Bahamas, in Jamaica, which other country did they visit during um, their Caribbean tour? So they went to Bahamas, they went to Jamaica. There's another one. There's another country. You guys remember? If you remember that country, drop that in the comments section below. But we know very much that William delivered a few speeches on those engagements, and he talked about politics in some instances, but that was a very different environment. Very different environment. And of course, Prince William was representing Her Majesty the Queen. And in whatever he said in those speeches, he was talking, yeah, Baileys, well done. Yes, Baileys. Yes. And he was visiting at such terrible times when most of these countries wanted to pull away from the Commonwealth. So there, Prince William had all the what is it? What is the word I'm supposed to use there? Whatever he said was very valid, okay, very, very valid in terms of his political agenda, for the UK's political agenda in the Bahamas, and how UK wanted these places to be united. If they are free to live again, it's up to them. But he was offering a speech on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen, because he was officially sent there. And this speech must have been looked through by the royals, well synchronized, okay, and in agreement with all the values and sentiments the royal family pretty much dances on every day. So we are having Harry delivering his speech in a different political environment without any conformity from the royal family. They probably didn't know he was going to speak on this event. Okay? And therefore, his speech has been termed as controversial. If you haven't listened to it, guys, you can always tune into, I think, the Royal Family channel has that speech up, and a few other channels, but it isn't a very positive speech. It was highly negative, and it highly exposed Prince Harry as, okay, Prince Harry as somebody who wasn't happy, okay. We know that he talked about his mother, Princess Diana, visiting Africa and doing a lot of great work in Africa. Yes, Princess Diana did all of that. But Prince Harry was using their mother, Princess Diana's name, of course, to stay relevant, but also to try and tune into people's emotions, because that's what they do, the Sussexes. Everybody knows that. Absolutely, Bonnie. That is it, okay? Yes, Tam, yeah, I definitely agree with you, okay? I definitely agree with you, because obviously people's hearts at the time when they visited the Caribbean, people's hearts were tuned into colonialism. And of course, we know why countries every now and then bring back colonial sentiments and But it was a challenge for Prince William to address. But he had the full support of the royal family because his father delivered a similar speech when he went to the Bahamas. I think when Bahamas was becoming a republic. Was it Bahamas? Yes, it was a year, a year before. Yeah. So guys, you'll agree with me that Prince Harry really, really, really came from there to down there, which is such a shame because we know him as the happy chappy. We used to know him as the Queen's favorite great grandson. People knew him as the funniest. Look at how he used to enjoy time with, with William and Kate before he got married to Meghan, and how he was always right in the center of these projects, mental health projects, his charities. For him not to be able, yes, the Bahamas, absolutely. Absolutely. But what are your thoughts on Prince Harry, guys? Do you think he's going to crash very soon? Do you think he needs help? Do you think the royal family now needs to step in and try to see how they can help him get back to the Harry he used to be? Hi, Yvonne. It is so heartbreaking. Okay. Because, like how you've said, Phoebe, this frustration is getting worse and worse. And the funny thing is that his wife is not doing anything about it. Later on, throw Harry in the deep end, because we know how much Meghan loves to talk. We know how much she loves taking center stage. Why didn't she deliver that speech? Why did she have to give that speech to Harry? Because it was a way of letting Harry do her dirty work. Mm. If Harry had played his cards right, he could have been a part of the evolution of the royal family and the new Caribbean relations. Absolutely. He would have been able to make such a great impact. And this is one thing I said earlier, that whatever Meghan and Harry are doing out there right now, they would have been able to make a bigger impact were they still in the royal family. But whatever they are doing is time wasted. They are just doing a disservice to the local communities, to themselves, okay? And it was all because of Meghan's impatience and her zest for power, control, and everything. She couldn't see herself back in the line of success. She couldn't see herself come second to Catherine, okay? She couldn't see her husband come second to William. She failed to know that the royal family works in a certain way, that other people come first before others. That is the line of succession. And then she comes here with her mindset of, you are being stepped on. You are capable of much better than what you are now. You are like this. Let's go away. Which woman would take her husband away from their family and claim that they love them so much? Okay. Here is this young man who loved his family to bits. He was very happy. He loved his grandmother. He loved his brother to bits. He was a happy guy. He was doing all his work. He went to Afghanistan. You know, he was a patron for all these charity organizations, most of them military organizations, because he's a serving officer. Things he enjoyed doing. And he was pulled away from all those things by his wife. And he was made to think that Harry actually was being stepped on. He wasn't being given any attention. He was literally, she molded him into what she wanted him to be and took him. Mm. Okay, Harry appears as out of place in California, as Meghan did in the UK. Absolutely, he's a lost sheep there. So he's just being pulled everywhere. Let's go. He's a, he's like a handbag. Okay, and you could see that whenever they are out with Meghan, Meghan is in full control of situations. He's just leading on like a lost sheep from somebody who was making such a huge impact here, somebody who was very well known in the world for being that prince who is very lovely, who is very adorable, to somebody who is now one of the most disliked figure when it comes to, he's very disliked. I mean, there is a recent YouGov poll that was conducted here in the UK, and Prince Harry and Meghan hit their lowest in 20%, right from the 70s, 80s they used to be. Absolutely. Absolutely, because wherever she goes, you could see, and she has a way of holding his hands everywhere and just pressing him. Don't say anything, I'm in charge. Okay, that sort of controlling behavior. Okay. Imagine Catherine doing the same to William. Just imagine Catherine holding William's hand everywhere, clutching into him all the time. Guys, if I'm wrong, just let me in the comments. But those are my own assessments of these situations, and I think if the royal family doesn't step in to sort of take some action to see this man come back to reality, they have one of their prince that is going to be lost somewhere in the world, out of the world. Okay. Okay. But I know that Prince William's trip to United States is again going to show us how people still very much believe in the royal family, despite the fact that the Meghan and Harrys have painted a different picture of the royal family out in the US. And there is a recent poll apparently which was conducted in the US somewhere, and it so turned out that William and Catherine are more popular, I think 3 times more popular than Meghan and Harry are, even when Meghan and Harry live in the United States. So that tells you, that shows you. Now we have William over to traveling to United States in December. Okay, Catherine showed her grace when Tom Cruise offered her, his hand switching that yes pass to avoid it happening again. That was so elegant. Yes, she is she is very subtle in how she does her things, but extremely professional. Catherine is extremely professional. But what a darling she was on that day. And of course we know Catherine, that William and Kate are great friends with Tom Cruise. Okay, over the years they've been talking. Of course, there are so many movie premieres that they have attended, and so when that happened, everybody sort of looked at it as an allowance that could be there for Catherine to do that, and it was totally, at that time, it was maybe the right thing to do, because obviously, imagine Catherine had swayed her hand away, how that would look. But she politely offered that, accepted that support, but again, pulled away again very gently, very professionally. I think that was a great thing to look at. It was. Okay. Hi, Lauren Walker. You just joined us. I must be honest, I don't keep up with Harry and Meghan much. When they said they were leaving as working members, I sort of respected their wishes and stopped taking an interest. Yes. So when they pulled away at first, okay, everybody knew, okay, they thought, yes, their reasons for pulling away were private reasons. They wanted to step out of the public life, raise their, children in a quiet life. But when they went to United States and offered that interview, very much knowing that those interviews, especially Oprah Winfrey interviews, are going to be viewed by millions and millions of people around the world, people started questioning what sort of privacy was that. Did they really mean what they were saying? Or they wanted to come out and try to build a brand for themselves because they thought being paid a wage in the royal family wasn't going to be enough, because they saw themselves as Meghan as very intelligent and somebody who is capable of building her own brand. But again, she wanted to use the royal family, as we are very much saying right now. Okay. He may be bastard, but he doesn't have any sympathy. Sorry, sir. Yeah. I agree with you guys. We never hear about them. That's why I tune in here. Yes, Yvonne. Um, the reason I actually talk about them here on most of these lives is because obviously as a Royal News Summary channel, yes, we sort of try and follow up on what's going on. Also remembering that Prince Harry was, is very much a royal. He's the brother to Prince William, son of Prince Charles, who's going to be the king. Okay, he is still very much a member of the British royal family. But we very much know that somebody sort of took him away and molded him into what they want him to be. But also I think someone, and this is Meghan, wants to use that marriage, that relationship they are in, to step up and get into places she would not have got in on her own. So some of those places, as we hear, is her starting to prepare to run for American presidency. Okay, so we are looking at all these Netflix projects, the podcasts, and all that stuff that are mushrooming up, coming up, are projects that are very much given to Meghan simply because the world knows Harry. Okay. And Lorna, you asked this question. Do you think there's a question you asked here, Lorna? Are those children theirs? Where was that? I think I've missed it, Lorna. You asked the question somewhere. Do you think they are? You meant their children, the Archie and Lilibet. With Meghan's now, everything becomes questionable. What can you believe in, and what will you know? It's because we are so much used to see her controversies coming out. There are certain things that she does in hiding, okay? And then she just comes out and says, this has happened, this is going to happen. So she keeps, people are not very sure of whether actually Lilibet is hers. She might be hers, but the way they got Lilibet, and sometimes people are still questioning whether Archie and the kids came back here for the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, because they didn't see them. Nobody saw them here apart from the photographs we saw on internet. Okay, so there are questions being raised here. Nobody knows for sure, because there isn't any transparency anywhere when it comes to these two people. Whereas you could see Catherine, she gave birth to, and you saw because the royal culture sees them bring the child out on the day of birth, present the child in front of camera, so that people can keep that recollection of the young royals being born the day they were born. You know, nobody can question whether they are royals or not. But this didn't happen, you know, with Lilibet, and even Archie wasn't presented on the very day he was born. So again, there are so many questions. There will always be questions when it comes to Meghan. And this is where real issues will come when she tries to run for the American presidency, because people are going to be asking these big questions. Okay. Okay. I would love to stand before the Queen and shake her hand and do a bow. Yvonne, yeah. The Queen is lovely. I've been in front of the Queen, I think, 3 times. And only because as a royal guard, I was based at Windsor Castle, and this is where the Queen pretty much lives mostly. So, and there is this sentry box where, you know, soldiers stand while they are guarding in their red tunics. So I used to stand there. And it's very, very close to where the Queen would come out with her dogs, taking them out for a walk in the back garden. And so the Queen you would see the Queen walking past. Very lovely lady, and when she comes back, she would give you a quick glance and smile and go in. Of course, she knows you're on duty, so she wouldn't try and come and interfere with what you're doing. She lets you do what you do best. Okay, and of course, she inspected us on the birthday parades, not just 1 but 2 birthday parades, where she obviously, you know, she's driven past in that carriage. I'm talking about the 2012, 11, 13 years, when she was still very much able to make those inspections. She's a very lovely lady. Okay, but for Meghan to come here and start claiming that she wasn't welcomed here and talk about everything she said in the Oprah Winfrey interview, as negative as those words were, you start wondering, really? Queen Elizabeth? I doubt she would let her, you know, her granddaughter-in-law, is she granddaughter-in-law, go through that. Okay. They went out on that engagement. You remember very well when Meghan went out with Queen Elizabeth on the train, and Queen Elizabeth actually extended her blanket to Meghan in the car. It was a very cold day. Now, she did that because she had accepted Meghan into the family, and she was very happy that Harry has found a wife. But what came after that is something that all of us are still wondering, why on earth could they have taken that course of action when actually they were very much welcome in the royal family. Harry was welcomed, Meghan was welcomed. Okay. So, what secrets are you guys talking about? What's happening? Do you think all of the secrets about the children is the reason Harry looks so strained? Oh God, Harry is in a very, very difficult position. Okay, because whether he's happy or not, whether he's even when he's sad, he can't let us know he's sad. He won't tell anybody he's sad because he has already sat in that situation, and he has to. They say when you make your bed, you have to lie in it. So he has already made that bed, and he's lying in it right now. Because the moment he comes out and says, I'm not happy, or this has gone this way, that's it. That will be it for Harry. That will be it for Meghan. And people will, of course, say, we told you. Okay. But also his children, whether they are his or not, his children, okay, would Because if that marriage breaks down, then you're going to have custody issues. I don't see Meghan allowing Harry to bring the kids back here. There is going to be a terrible, she would want to hold on to something to stay relevant. Okay. Hi, Andre. Thank you so much for joining in. Guys, I think last time my live cut off past the hour. And so I think it was an hour and 20 minutes, so it cut off. So I'm thinking I only have a specific amount of time doing a live on YouTube. So I don't want this live to cut off before we summarize. Okay, so I'm well over the hour. So I think I will start summarizing to say that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in here. It's been great to have all of you here as we, talk about these very conversations that help us try and make sense of what is going on in the world of royals, especially the Harrys and Meghans. Just a reminder, you guys, that on the 22nd December, I think Prince William will be traveling to United States, and he's taking his Earth Short project. Appreciate you, Lorna. Thank you so much. And so he's going in December with Catherine. It's going to be a very, very cold time of the year, because we know Boston is really hit with snow. But and of course we know December is Christmas. It's a very festive month. I don't know why they have chosen to go to Boston around December time, but they know best. But anyway, William and Catherine will be in the US to take this project, and it is confirmed they won't be seeing Meghan and Harry, because this is not a dilly-dolly visit. It's an official visit. And of course, I wouldn't see William visiting Harry, because they are not in talking terms. They are not. They don't even see eye to eye. Even when the Harrys came back here, and they didn't, William never spoke to Harry. Even when they sat in St. Paul's Cathedral, okay, William left before Harry left. And William, Harry arrived before William, so maybe the only time they got to saw each other was when William was walking past to go to his seat. That was it, okay? But they are not in talking terms, so I don't see the Cambridges meeting the Harrys while in United States. That can't happen. So it is entirely a visit for the Williams and Harrys, and Kate, and of course they are taking this Earthshot project, which is building momentum and of course helping to shape our climate change for the better. And that is what good royals do, not the Harrys who stepped on that platform and started literally bringing down everybody and, criticizing everyone in a capacity of a royal that Harry is, something which wasn't acceptable at all. Okay, so guys, I will say good night to you all. Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you, Andre, for tuning in. Cam Funk, I appreciate you joining this live today and sharing your incredible thoughts. Yvonne, Ashan, Stacy, wherever you are, Uganda, I think it might be a little late, but wherever you are, thank you always for tuning in. Catherine White, I'm very, very glad you managed to catch this one today. I know that you are on the other opposite end of our time. So thank you so much. Yvonne Garcia, Bonnie, you are a star. Phoebe, you guys are incredible. Thank you so much. Lauren Walker, you are great. Tam Khan, Lona, Lauren again here. Thank you so much for coming in here and of course sharing your thoughts. And I will let you know when our next live will be coming up. But I think most likely it will be Friday or Saturday, one of those days. I always try to leave 2 days in between to try and digest what has been coming up, unless there is a serious story to talk about. But unless there is an issue that somebody wants to raise here before we finish, okay, I would like to say thank you all before this phone cuts me off, because that's what it does every time I go over a certain amount of time on these live streams. I think it gives you only up to about an hour and 10, an hour and 20, 15 minutes at a time. So I will say night, guys. Have a brilliant end of the week and a great weekend. If you don't show up on my upcoming lives, and I'm quite sure we will always catch up. Love you too, Andre. Thank you so much. And Bonnie, everybody here, Cam, Phoebe, Ashan, Stacy, thank you so much, guys. Catherine, stay great there. I've been told Australia is boiling, so please stay hydrated as we are here in the UK. Yes, good night, my lovely friends. Thank you so much. Stay subscribed to this wonderful channel. Let us take Francis Page Media to the next level, guys. Truly appreciate your support. Have an awesome night, every single one of you. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Happy birthday, Tam Khan. Before I finish, 24th December will be your birthday. I will put that in my diary and see what we can, if maybe we could sing happy birthday wishes for you here on our lives when it's closer to your birth date, okay? But Bonnie, good night, guys, and every single one of you. Love you all. Take care.